Today's conversation is a little different because we're not practicing a situation like ordering food or going to the airport. Instead, we're talking about something almost every English learner has experienced.
That's right. Today's topic is what I wish I knew before learning English.
If you've ever felt frustrated because you couldn't understand native speakers, embarrassed about making mistakes, or discouraged because your progress felt slow, you're definitely not alone.
All right, Anna, ready?
Absolutely. Let's get started.
You know, Anna, I was thinking about something the other day.
What's that?
If I could travel back in time and talk to myself on the very first day I started learning English, I'd have a very long conversation.
Really?
Oh, definitely. I'd probably save myself years of frustration.
I think a lot of people watching can relate to that.
I'm sure they can. When I first started, I believed learning English was mostly about memorizing vocabulary.
I thought the same thing.
I bought vocabulary books, downloaded apps, and made hundreds of flashcards.
How many words do you think you memorized?
Probably thousands.
Wow.
The funny thing is that even after learning all those words, I still couldn't have a simple conversation.
That's actually a very common experience.
It was so confusing. I remember thinking, I know these words. Why can't I speak?
Because knowing words and using words are two completely different skills.
Exactly.
It's a little like learning every ingredient in a recipe without ever cooking the meal.
That's a great comparison.
You might know what flour, butter, sugar, eggs, and milk are, but until you actually start cooking, you don't know how everything works together.
Language works the same way.
That's right.
Looking back, I wish someone had told me to spend less time collecting vocabulary lists and more time listening to real conversations.
I completely agree.
When you listen to native speakers, you don't just learn words.
You learn rhythm.
You learn pronunciation.
You learn common expressions.
You learn how people naturally connect ideas together.
Exactly.
For example, textbooks often teach complete, perfect sentences.
But real conversations aren't always like that.
Not at all.
People interrupt each other.
They hesitate.
They change their minds halfway through a sentence.
Sometimes they don't even finish the sentence.
And that's completely normal.
I remember the first time I watched an American TV show without subtitles.
How did it go?
Honestly,
Go ahead.
it was a disaster.
Really?
I think I understood maybe 10%,
Only 10%?
maybe even less.
That's discouraging.
It was, but here's the interesting part.
What happened?
Instead of quitting, I watched the same episode again.
Just once?
No,
How many times?
5 times.
5?
Yes.
Didn't you get bored?
Surprisingly, no.
Why not?
Because every time I watched it, I understood something new.
That's actually a very effective learning strategy.
The first time, I only recognized a few words.
Then what?
The second time, I started recognizing short phrases.
Interesting.
By the third viewing, I could predict parts of the conversation.
Because your brain was becoming familiar with the sounds.
Exactly.
Many learners think they need new material every day.
But repetition is incredibly powerful.
Absolutely.
There's a useful word here, familiar.
Good idea.
If something is familiar, it means you've seen, heard, or experienced it before, so it feels known or comfortable.
For example, after listening to the same conversation several times, the expressions become familiar.
That's right.
And once something feels familiar, it's much easier to remember.
Exactly.
Another thing I wish I had known is that making mistakes isn't a sign that you're failing.
That's a huge one.
When I was learning English, I was afraid of saying something incorrectly.
Me too.
I'd spend several minutes thinking about one sentence before speaking.
I did exactly the same thing.
I'd ask myself, is this the correct tense?
Am I using the right preposition?
What if everyone laughs at me?
The funny thing is,
What?
nobody was paying that much attention.
That's true.
Most native speakers are simply trying to understand what you're saying.
They're not grading your grammar like an English teacher.
Exactly.
And when they notice a small mistake, they usually don't care.
Or they naturally understand what you mean anyway.
I remember ordering coffee once.
What happened?
I accidentally said, I am interesting in a cappuccino.
Instead of saying,
I am interested in a cappuccino.
did the barista correct you?
No.
She smiled, took my order, and asked what size I wanted.
So communication still happened.
Exactly.
That's such an important lesson.
Sometimes learners believe every sentence has to be perfect before they open their mouths.
But communication is much more important than perfection.
I couldn't agree more. Actually, Anna, can I ask you something?
Of course.
You just said, I couldn't agree more.
I did.
Could you repeat that expression one more time?
Certainly. The expression is, I couldn't agree more.
And what does it mean?
It means I agree completely. It's a very natural expression that native speakers use all the time.
It's a great one for everyone watching to remember.
Definitely. Instead of always saying exactly or yes, you can say, I couldn't agree more.
It sounds very natural in everyday conversations.
And you'll hear it often in movies, podcasts, interviews, and conversations with native speakers.
I wish I had learned expressions like that much earlier.
Me too.
Because real fluency isn't just about knowing grammar.
It's about sounding natural and understanding how people actually communicate.
Exactly.
And that's one of the biggest reasons we create these conversations.
To help learners hear English the way it's really spoken every day.
There's still a lot more we wish we had known before learning English.
Including one mistake that almost every learner makes without realizing it.
Let's talk about that next.
So, Anna, you mentioned that almost every learner makes a mistake without realizing it. I'm curious, which mistake are you talking about?
Trying to understand every single word.
Oh, that's a big one.
It really is. I used to think that if I missed just one word, I had already failed to understand the conversation.
I remember feeling exactly the same way.
I'd stop listening the moment I heard an unfamiliar word.
And while you were thinking about that one word,
I missed the next 10 seconds of the conversation.
exactly.
It's something that happens to almost every learner.
The interesting thing is that native speakers don't understand every single word either.
That's true.
Sometimes people speak too quietly.
Sometimes there's background noise.
Sometimes someone uses a word you've never heard before.
But instead of stopping, you keep listening and use the context to understand the message.
Context is incredibly important.
Let's explain that word because it's very useful.
Good idea.
Context means the situation or the information around something that helps you understand it.
For example, imagine someone says, "It's raining. Don't forget your umbrella."
Even if you didn't know the word umbrella, you could probably guess its meaning because of the situation.
Exactly.
Your brain naturally connects the ideas.
I wish someone had told me to trust my brain a little more.
Me too.
Instead, I paused every few seconds to translate.
That brings us to another lesson.
Let me guess.
Go ahead.
Stop translating everything into your native language.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
That habit slowed me down so much.
Mine too.
I'd hear an English sentence,
Translate it into my language,
think about the meaning,
translate my answer back into English.
and finally speak.
By then, the conversation had already moved on.
It felt like everyone else was running while I was walking.
The goal isn't to become a human dictionary.
It's to think directly in English.
Of course, that doesn't happen overnight.
Definitely not.
It's something that develops little by little.
I noticed it happening with simple words first.
Like what?
Words like coffee.
That's a good example.
I stopped translating coffee.
You simply thought of coffee.
Exactly.
Then the same thing happened with car,
House.
friend.
Eventually, short sentences started coming naturally too.
That's when learning becomes much more enjoyable.
Here's another thing I wish I knew earlier.
What's that?
You don't have to sound like a native speaker.
I'm really glad you brought that up.
For years, I believed my accent had to disappear completely.
Many learners feel that pressure.
I'd compare myself to actors
Or news reporters.
or YouTubers who seemed completely fluent.
Comparison can be very discouraging.
Absolutely.
The truth is that millions of people speak English with different accents.
And that's completely normal.
English is an international language.
People from Brazil,
Italy,
Japan,
India,
Germany,
Mexico.
and dozens of other countries all communicate in English every day.
Each person brings a little bit of their own accent.
And that's okay.
The real goal is to be understood clearly.
Not to sound exactly like someone else.
I actually know people who have a noticeable accent
But they're fantastic communicators.
because they're confident.
They're clear.
They listen carefully.
And they don't panic if they make a small mistake.
Confidence often matters more than perfection.
I couldn't agree more.
Can I ask you something?
Of course.
When did you finally start feeling more confident speaking English?
Honestly,
Yes.
when I stopped studying only to pass exams.
That's interesting.
Everything changed when I started learning English because I actually wanted to use it.
Use it how?
Watching interviews,
Nice.
listening to podcasts,
I love podcasts.
reading articles about subjects I already enjoyed.
Instead of reading boring textbook passages.
Exactly.
That's another lesson many learners discover too late.
Learning becomes much easier when the content is interesting.
If you love cooking,
Watch cooking videos in English.
if you enjoy sports,
Follow sports channels.
If you like technology,
Read technology news
you're learning English.
while learning something else at the same time.
Your attention stays on the topic instead of worrying about grammar.
That's when learning starts feeling natural.
I also wish I had understood the importance of consistency.
That's probably one of the biggest lessons of all.
In the beginning, I studied for 5 hours one day.
And then nothing for a week.
Exactly.
I thought longer study sessions would give me faster results.
But they usually left me exhausted.
Now I'd much rather study 20 minutes every day.
Me too.
Small daily habits are incredibly powerful.
Let's imagine 2 students.
Okay,
The first student studies 4 hours every Saturday.
and the second?
The second studies 30 minutes every day.
Who do you think improves faster?
Most of the time, the second student.
Because English becomes part of their daily routine.
Exactly.
There's another useful word here.
Routine.
A routine is something you do regularly, usually in the same way.
For example, brushing your teeth every morning is part of your routine.
Going for a walk every evening can also be part of your routine.
The more English becomes part of your routine,
The less it feels like studying.
instead, it becomes part of your everyday life.
Can I tell you one of my biggest mistakes?
Please do.
I waited until I felt ready to speak.
Oh, I know exactly where this is going.
I kept telling myself,
Maybe next month.
my grammar isn't good enough yet.
I need another vocabulary book.
I'll start speaking after I finish this course.
But that day never came.
Exactly.
The truth is,
You'll probably never feel 100% ready,
because confidence comes from speaking.
not before speaking.
The first conversations might feel uncomfortable.
The second ones become easier.
The 10th conversation feels much more natural.
And after a while,
You suddenly realize you're having conversations without thinking about every word.
that's one of the best feelings in language learning.
Absolutely.
And that's exactly why we encourage everyone watching to practice regularly.
Even if it's just a few minutes every day.
Because every conversation teaches you something new.
And every mistake brings you one step closer to fluency.
There's still one final lesson that completely changed the way I learned languages.
And honestly, I think it might be the most important one of all.
Let's save that for the final part of our conversation.
All right, Leo, earlier you said there was one lesson that changed the way you learned languages. I'm really curious now.
I think it's the lesson that took me the longest to understand.
What is it?
Learning English isn't a race.
I love that.
For years, I kept comparing myself to other learners.
I've done that too.
I'd see someone speaking English fluently and think, why can't I speak like that?
The problem is that we rarely know someone else's story.
Exactly.
Maybe they've been studying for 10 years.
Maybe they lived in another country.
Maybe they use English every day at work.
Or maybe they've made thousands of mistakes that we never saw.
That's such an important point.
We usually compare our beginning to someone else's middle or even their finish line.
And that's never a fair comparison.
Not at all.
Everyone learns differently.
Some people improve quickly with listening.
Others become confident through speaking.
Some enjoy reading.
Others prefer watching videos.
There's no single perfect method.
The best method is the one you'll actually continue using.
Exactly.
When I look back, I realized that some of my biggest improvements happened without me noticing.
Really?
Absolutely.
Can you give an example?
Sure.
I'd love to hear it.
One day, I was watching a movie in English.
Okay.
About 20 minutes passed before I realized
Realized what?
I hadn't looked at the subtitles once.
That's an amazing feeling.
It really was.
Because it wasn't something you planned.
Exactly.
It just happened naturally.
That's how progress often works.
Very slowly at first.
Then suddenly you notice something that used to be difficult has become easy.
I had a similar experience.
Really.
One day someone asked me a question in English.
And?
I answered immediately,
Without translating?
without translating.
That's wonderful.
The conversation lasted only 2 or 3 minutes.
But it felt different.
Exactly.
Why?
Because afterward, I realized I had been thinking in English almost the entire time.
That's a huge milestone.
It reminded me that all those hours of practice had been working even when I couldn't see the results.
You know what else I wish I had understood earlier?
What's that?
It's okay to have bad days.
Oh, absolutely.
Some days you'll understand almost everything.
In other days,
You'll feel like you've forgotten half the language.
I've experienced that many times.
Me too.
At first, I thought those difficult days meant I was getting worse.
But that's not true.
Not at all.
Learning isn't a straight line.
Some days you move forward quickly,
Other days, you seem to stay in the same place.
and occasionally you even feel like you're moving backward.
But you're not. Your brain is still processing everything you've learned.
That's why patience is so important.
Definitely. Can I ask you another question?
Of course.
If a complete beginner asked you for one piece of advice today, what would you tell them?
Only one?
Just one.
I'd tell them to use English every single day,
Even if it's only for a few minutes?
especially if it's only for a few minutes.
Why?
Because languages are meant to be used.
Not just studied.
Exactly.
Read something.
Listen to a podcast.
Watch a short video.
Speak to yourself.
Repeat useful expressions.
Describe what you're doing while you cook dinner.
Or while you're driving to work.
Those small moments add up.
And over time, they make a huge difference.
What about you, Anna? What would you tell a beginner?
Yes, I'd tell them not to be afraid of making mistakes.
I had a feeling you'd say that.
Because mistakes aren't the opposite of learning.
They're part of learning.
Every mistake teaches you something.
Every conversation makes you stronger.
Every new word opens another door.
And every day you continue practicing, you're becoming a better English speaker.
Before we finish today's conversation, let's quickly review the biggest lessons we talked about.
Great idea.
First,
Don't focus only on memorizing vocabulary.
use the words in real conversations.
Second,
Don't try to understand every single word.
focus on the overall meaning.
Third,
Stop waiting to become perfect before speaking.
practice now.
Fourth,
Create a daily routine.
even a short practice session every day is valuable.
Fifth,
Don't compare yourself to other learners.
compare yourself to the person you were yesterday.
And finally,
Enjoy the journey.
because learning English isn't something you finish.
It's a skill that keeps growing throughout your life.
You know, Anna, after everything we've talked about today, I think there's one sentence that summarizes the entire conversation.
I'd love to hear it.
Don't be afraid to speak English before you feel ready.
I couldn't agree more.
Confidence comes from practice,
Not from waiting.
and every conversation is another step forward.
Including this one.
Well, that brings us to the end of today's podcast conversation.
We hope these lessons help you avoid some of the mistakes we made and give you more confidence on your own English learning journey.
Remember, fluency doesn't happen overnight. It grows one conversation, one lesson, in one day at a time.
If you enjoyed practicing English with us today, please give this video a like and subscribe to English Talk. Your support helps us continue creating natural conversations that make English easier and more enjoyable to learn.
And we'd love to hear from you. In the comments below, tell us one thing you wish you had known before you started learning English. Or if you're just beginning, tell us what you're most excited to learn.
Thank you so much for spending part of your day with us. Keep listening, keep speaking, keep making mistakes, and most importantly, keep believing in yourself.
We'll see you again very soon with another real-life English conversation.
Take care, everyone.
Goodbye, and happy learning.